What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Off the Clock. We got another great show for you. Haven't seen you guys in like 2 weeks. Last time we was talking about Larry Knight and what he can bring to the Dogs pass rushing, the Dogs defense as the new outside linebacker coach. But today we're going to do a little deep dive into the NFL draft. And Georgia has turned the combine into an alumni gathering where how many guys are going, in the draft year by year. These guys are pros. A lot of these names, a lot of these players we're going to talk about today are, the players that you heard about game by game. And if you tune into the team meeting, some of our, other content, we was talking about these guys all the time. The CJ Allens, the Monroe, Freelands and the Zachariah branches. And all year we was giving these guys nicknames, right? You talk about Monroe Freeling. A lot of people couldn't understand why I was calling him like a power forward. I say a lot of things in parables and a lot of things in jokes, but in reality, it's some substance. And I say he should be playing power forward because at 6'7", 310, the way he was moving on tape, a man that size shouldn't be moving like that on tape. And I guarantee he has some basketball in his background. I mean, we talking about a guy, when we just talk about Monroe Freeland, 6'6", 6'7", 315 pounds, 35-inch arms, right? 4'9", 33 and a half vertical jump, right? When we start talking about the athletic score that the combine goes off of, this guy had a 9.99 out of 10 when it comes to tackles. Well, if you were watching team meeting, man, you heard it out there first. And we call this guy El Zacharias. A lot of the young people that's watching the show don't know who El Zacharias is, but you go on YouTube and type in the 2006 Cleveland Cavaliers when LeBron James running pick and roll with Big El Zacharias. That's how Monroe Freeland is, man. He showed up on tape, right? I mean, when you watch the tape, the pass pro was amazing, balanced, never was top heavy, never was, out of position. And then in the run game, just like a lot of Georgia players that play up front, if you're not going to play up front, they was very physical. So it don't take a guy like me. It took me about 3-4 games to understand that this guy, he checks the box at 6'6", 6'7", right? So he got the size. 315, he got the size. 35-inch arms, he got the length. Now we get to the combine. That's where he set himself apart. Running that 4.93. He has all the tools that you're looking for. Projections, top 10 pick projection. Georgia Bulldog offensive lineman Monroe Freeland has skyrocketed up boards led up to the 2026 NFL draft. Freeland's stock has skyrocketed since the end of the season to 6'7", 315 pounds. He's one of the few true left tackles of this class. They said he skyrocketed. We've been told you he was first round. He was a first-round left tackle. That's what I said week 5.
I don't know what grade he in. He is a first-round left tackle. And when he got hurt, they said he is 6'6", 315. This is a first-round tackle. First of all, watch this kick. Bam, athletic, I'm waiting for you. Look at that kick. 5. I'm waiting for you. Boom, boom. Oh, good balance.
Excellent athlete who excels in space and on the move. His size and upside and athletic traits have prompted multiple teams ranking him as the top offensive tackle in the combine. So this guy could go top 10. Freeland will become the first Georgia offensive line to be selected in the first round since Amherst Wilson was selected 18th with the Cincinnati Bengals in 2024. Can we pull up him running his 40? And then that's another thing too, man. Like I said on Dog Nation, these guys, all they got to do is put out good tape, go do good at the combine, and NFL scouts are going to salivate. How you pronounce that word? They're going to love them, right? Just because of Georgia has this thing now to where it's been 5 years of everybody that Coach Smart has handed over to an NFL GM has been a hit.
That's a really good 10.
Look at this Big Bear dance.
Almost dead. 4.95.
That's a Big Bear dancing now. That's what a grizzly bear look like when they say you can't outrun one. Like, look, But you throw that on top of this freakish guy, on top of good film, on top of now the rhetoric around Georgia players in the NFL is they do their job, they good pros, they go to work, and they go home. That's what we was always told at Georgia. You go to work and you go home. Whatever you had going on, at the house. When you step into this facility, all that leaves and it's time to play football, and guys do a great job of taking that to the next level. Since Coach Smart has got there, you look at the Raquans, Malachi Starks, Jalen Carters, Nolan Smith, Aziz. It's just so many guys, man. What they said, look at it. I told you he was finishing a run game. He's a finisher. He's a serial killer. Like I always said. Again, I help out and I do my job and I finish people. Look at it right here. Finishing people, working up. Do my job first, then help out late. Work up, killing people. Look at him. Y'all finna get me in a team meeting mode, but it ain't time for that yet. I went to the University of Georgia. I have seen the best of the best. I know what it looked like. I know what Andrew Thomas looked like when he was 18 years old going against one-on-ones versus Lorenzo Carter, me, Jordan Jenkins. I know what Andrew Thomas looked like. Look at the pass pro, good balance. I know what Isaiah Wynns looked like. So, you just look at the tape right there. They just showed you the running game. In the pass pro, man, the guy was so savvy. When you looked on the team meeting, he knew what pro tackles know. If a guy go long arm and he leave it in there too long, knock down the arm and he fall. It's like when you put your bike on the kickstand, you kick the kickstand, the bike fall. That's what happened with defensive end, leave the long arm man too long. Monroe Freeling, the top 10 pick. Another guy who's going in the first round, C.J. Allen. I like C.J. Allen because, I heard about C.J. Allen when he first got there. And they said it's going to be a guy that's wearing number 3. He's going to be like Raquan Smith. And I remember saying on the phone, I said, if he got that 3 on, you know who he got to play like? He looked like him. Well, I don't know if he blitzing or he just know the play coming. That's how I know he's instinctual linebacker. That's what set Raquan Smith. Every linebacker I've ever played with, I always tell him, go watch Raquan Smith tape. Look at the diagnosis of the play. No false steps. This very Raquan-esque. Instinctual player. Knowing the guy gonna jump over the pile. Y'all remember the play from Mississippi State? If you was watching the team meeting, are you on crack? Raquan Smith, where Raquan Smith so good is you didn't know if he was blitzing or if he just knew the play was coming. And I tip my hats off to Raquan Smith because his knowledge of the game in college was so crazy. He watched so much tape that we didn't know if he was blitzing or if he just knew the play, because he would diagnose it so fast and go downhill and know where the play was hitting. Those are some of the qualities that C.J. Allen has. Just some of the measurables on C.J. Allen. He did not perform at the combine, but the Dallas Cowboys had him in for a formal visit. And I think that's a position where they're lacking. Dallas Cowboys need a staple linebacker. Jerry Jones been trying to patch up the linebacker position. Jalen Smith a couple years ago, a trader for Logan Wilson. I think having a staple and then also just bringing in that winning culture to the Dallas Cowboys. You bring in a guy who, the quarterback of your defense, who you hear all the stuff about what was coming out of the Cowboys camp about, is Michael Parsons a leader? Who's a leader? Well, when C.J. Allen get in your building, this town not big enough for the both of us. And he going to make sure that everybody falls in line.
Reviews at the NFL Combine on Georgia linebacker C.J. Allen, the field general. The junior out of Georgia stands at 6'1", 235 pounds, and the NFL has given him a prospect grade that projects him out to be an average starter. In 2025 with the Bulldogs, he totaled 88 tackles, including 47 solo tackles, 3.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, and 4 pass deflections. Look for CJ Allen to be a potential first-round pick in this year's upcoming NFL draft. Be sure to follow.
All right, say the Cowboys got the 12th pick. Let me ask you this question. Do you think the guy from Ohio State, do you think he falls to 12, Sonny Styles? I think he leaves the board in the top 10. So I think you may have a CJ Daniels. They got picked 12 and 20. If Sonny Styles don't drop to 12, CJ Allen probably going to the Cowboys, which I like that. I do like that. I think the Cowboys need a leader. And I think CJ Allen is one of those guys that can come in and be a program changer. You saw what the NFL is a copycat league. So Dallas Cowboys in the same division in the NFC East as the Eagles. And sometimes you can't beat them, join them. These guys going in here getting all these Georgia guys, and they like Velcro, to the Super Bowl. You can't keep the Eagles away from making a long run in the playoffs. So I think the Cowboys right now is like, look, we got to do what's work. We got to do some Georgia boys. Jerry Jones is used to getting a lot of Oklahoma Sooners because that's was his school that he went to. And you see a lot of GMs do that, especially when they got the football background that were football players in college. They usually try to pick a lot of kids from their alma mater. I think right now, man, you're finna see a lot of guys finna go draft some Georgia guys, man. Mike McDonald just winning the Super Bowl, Georgia guy. The Cowboys just hired the coach that just left Georgia. Now you got, CJ Daniels on the board. I think teams right now are, drafting more Georgia guys. What did the GM say about already having pro-ready guys, Dennis, on the beat? They're basically 18, 19-year pros. They know what it takes when they get to the NFL. The acclimation is going to be easier for them because they've essentially been in a program that has a lot of demands on them and it's ran like an NFL program. So Georgia players get the benefit of the doubt. If I got a guy that running the same 40, same size, same XYZ, I'm probably going with the Georgia guy. Because I know where he coming from. That's like when Nick Saban was getting all them guys in the NFL. I know he coming from Nick Saban. I know he coming from a well-oiled ran program, and probably what I'm demanding of them in the NFL is going to be less than what Kirby Smart demanded of the player. So it's an easy transition. I was at dinner with Jalen Walker in the Falcons linebacker dinner this season with Leonard Floyd, Jalen Walker, and just the defense. And I asked the question, I said, what is easier, the NFL or, college? And he said the NFL. So Georgia got to just prepared. Well. I thought some other guys we're going to get into right now is I think Dillon Bell. I want to talk about Dillon Bell. I think Dillon Bell is going to be a better pro than he was at college. Not saying he was not good in college. But when you look at Dillon Bell, like I always said about Dillon Bell, at 6'1", 212, built like a running back, reminds me of Tramel Terry. A lot of y'all don't remember who Tramel Terry was. Tramel Terry was Mr. South Carolina, and he came to Georgia as a Under Armour All-American and that Debo Samuel type, right? 6'1", 212, ran 4.5 flat, thought he was faster than that. 35 vertical jump, 10-2 broad. 10-2 is showing that he's very explosive. Bench press 18 reps. That's very good for a wide receiver / slot guy with a 20-yard shuttle. This is him running his 40 right here, 4.5. I thought he was for sure a low 4.4 guy, but he looked good running it. And I just think he's an explosive athlete, right? What do the numbers say? Bell tested as a strong, balanced athlete rather than a per burner speed. Strength shown in testing, good explosive for 210 receiver, strong short area agility numbers, and a physical frame more like a running back. The one-handed catch, and I think he did such a good job at running routes and catching the ball that he really upped his projection because he dropped a lot of balls early in his career at Georgia, but you saw the one-hand grab that he did at the combine. And also when you get to the NFL, right, sometimes it's good to be a renaissance man, a man of jack of all trades. This guy's going to be a killer on special teams. He could play the slot. He could play a little outside. You can throw him in the back, jet sweep guy. Could be a gunner on special teams. Can also be a returner in special teams. I think he made himself some money, and especially he's been in the Georgia program. Like I say, guys from Georgia get the benefit of the doubt. I could see Dillon Bell going in that third to fourth range, third to fifth range. As a plug-and-play guy of a championship team that want to bring in some Georgia work hard, lunch pail guys, and Dillon Bell is one of them. I think he's going to have a long career in the NFL because of his versatility, but not only that, what he brings to the table as far as how much you can use him and what he brings to the table on special teams. And part of one of the main reasons why I didn't stick in the league, because I could pass rush my ass off. But damn, I just didn't play no special teams at Georgia. And this body one, man, especially with the way they did kickoff when I was playing, running 40 yards and duking and dashing. Look, man, I know how to get to that quarterback and play football and stop you from running my side and setting that edge and close games. All that running down there is the L3. I just wasn't going to be good at that, So these guys now, they're built differently and they understand the value of special teams. I didn't really understand the value of special teams because, we had Rick for the 3 years. I had Smart for 2 years. And I said, man, Smart really care about special teams. I see why it lasts you in the league, right? But just side note, I was one of them guys to be like, look, if I can't be Alden Smith, Von Miller, Javion Clowney, I just don't want to be in the league. And this takes nothing away from guys that play special teams and make money playing special teams. But if I couldn't be the closer and go get that quarterback and put him on the ground, then I just didn't want to be known as the player in the league that just run down on kickoff. But, it's a good living, and hats off. I'm blessed that God gave me many talents. So I'm like, look, if I can't go be that pass rusher that Davin can be because of combine, I didn't perform well in the combine. I popped my hamstring running my 40, so I was more of a football player. Everybody said, like, he probably not going to run a fast 40, but, man, when you turn on that tape, right? And essentially I went to a program where undrafted late-round guys got to play special teams, and I just wasn't going to do it. But these guys can do it. Let's stay in that wide receiver room with Zachariah Branch. Wait, before we get to Zachariah Branch, please, everybody, take some time out if you still here with us to like, comment, and subscribe and ring that bell down there. Like I said, we drop very spontaneous episodes as the news come across my desk. We put something together and just show it for you. This is the Draft Show. Please like, comment, and subscribe. But Zachariah Branch is a guy we talked about all year, a guy who beat man coverage anytime he wanted to, third down machine. And like we said, he was reliable like a 2012 Honda Accord. You could put about 5,000 miles on him, he'll still keep rolling on you. I'm sorry, 100,000 miles on you. This is what I like right here. Made the first, second guy, and third guy miss. From the time we saw him at Marshall, we knew that he was going to be a good ball player. We're going to miss this guy's production. And the first thing I noticed about Marshall, if you go back and watch the team meeting, episode 1, I said this guy's going to be Gunnar Stockton, third down guy. Like, when a guy can get open, this is what the NFL wants to see. Could you imagine him with Matthew Stafford? Sitting down in them zones in that West Coast Sean McVay offense. Can you imagine him with Kansas City Chiefs? Michael Jackson feet. You remember that from the team meeting? And this guy, what impressed me the most about him is you see the highlights, right? The highlights match up with what? What do the highlights match up with? The combine is, when you talk about guys like Zachariah Branch, XYZ, XYZ, NFL scouts will do the athleticism on the highlight tape match up with the athleticism he showed the combine, and look at this guy go. 4.36. Hand time probably 4.29. I want y'all to understand that this is 4.36. If we was outside and we marked off 40 yards and we had a clock, your hand wouldn't be as fast as that laser. That's probably 4.29. His NFL comps, Tyreek Hill, Zay Flowers, Tank Dell. Now, just like Michael Irvin said, just because the guy fast, does not mean he's going to be Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill was exceptional. I'm just not going to put that pressure on Zachariah Branch, I can see Zay Flower, I can see Tank Dales. Tyreek Hill was on a legendary run, so every time a player run a low 4.3 and a small statue, we compare to Tyreek Hill. We gotta start comparing players just off of numbers, right? But when you look at the tape, he's just not numbers like a John Ross was, who ended up running one of the fastest 40s ever, but couldn't catch a cold in the middle of Alaska in a swimsuit, right? He's a guy that when you turn the tape, he can get open on one-on-ones. He's a punt returner, right? You use him on jet sweeps. And what I most like about him is he catch the ball across the middle, get lit up, and what he do? He come right back and say, hey, throw the ball to the ref. I need more. Let's line back up. This guy put the team on his back. Him and Gunnar Stockton, amazing players. So I do think Zachariah Branch could be a late, you know what, probably late first, early second. That's my opinion. If you're not doing so, go look at the Team 7 meeting
It's
on
the
IG.
mono versus mono. It's not about the coordinator. It's not about the head coach. It's not about rankings. I got 13 games on you. Joey been running this all year, but it's not the players. It's not the play call. It's the players. They got all the feeling this was coming. 7 good block. Make the first man miss like we always talk about. Got a block right here. Seal him out. Michael Jackson's feet. I know Michael Jackson dropping a biopic and they got his nephew playing in it. They should have had Zachariah Branch. He just good to have in Athens. Whatever he does negative, we do not look at it. He does so much positive, I don't have time to look at the negative. There's no play call you can call for that. You looking up at the film, like what should I have called? There's nothing. And this guy right here, man, got a Michael Jackson shirt on. Footwork impeccable. When you're a baller like him, he like LaShawn McCoy, he like Michael Vick, he like Barry Sanders. I don't care about ball security. Just do what you do.
Michael Vick and Barry Sanders had a fumbling problem. But that part get erased in history. When you got a month like that, don't overcoach him. Don't coach the playmaker out of him. Give him the ball and tell him to go. Zachariah Branch is standout wide receiver from Georgia, projected a high upside 2026 NFL draft prospect. Generally expected to be selected in the second round, picks 40 through 60, with some projections ranging late first to early third. He is considered an elite, versatile playmaker with top-tier speed, acceleration, frequently compared to Zay Flowers or a gadget-type person. Key draft details: he would bring versatility with wide receiver and return specialist. So right now they got him late first, early third. Good ball
Third and
player.
8. Once again, it may not be that when you need him, but he always on time. Zachariah Branch.
Amen.
Huge third down conversion. 3rd and 5, Zachariah Branch. Old reliable. Always there when you need him. May not be there when you call him, but he always on time. Good pass pro, good ball.
See, I like that right there. Pause it.
Always there.
That's all I got to see. See what he get hit, he roll up, you down and you're up. You're down and you're up. Don't ever let the opponent know that the hit hurt you. That's toughness too. Branch is considered a top 50 talent by many, likely to be picked for his ability to immediately affect the passing game and special teams. Good ball player. Now, a couple guys did not participate. You got Christian Miller and Oscar Delp. Oscar Delp did say that he was going to break the Georgia tight end record for 40 at 4.5. I think held by Benjamin Watson. Don't quote me on that, but I think so. He wasn't able to do that because of an injury that they found at the combine, so he's preparing for pro day. I know he's going to break the 40 just off of. Dennis, go kick the avatar on the avatar clip on the IG team meeting. Watch when he catch this ball, how he accelerate at 6'4", 6'5", 250. You ain't even got to run a 40. Don't even show up to the combine with the tight ends.
There's no disrespect to any of the wide receivers. These dudes right here,
They don't make 2 million like that. I wanted to see more shots downfield. You just late, son. We got an avatar over here. Delp, we got an avatar right here. We got a human being right here. He's open. Give the tight ends more of a chance to go up and make these plays. 6'6", 250. Give him the ball. Come on, baby. He right here. Feed that horse. Feed that horse. When you 6'6", 250 and running like this, feed that horse, man. Sheesh. I like right here. I talk about this guy all the time, and you know what? I'm gonna continue to keep talking about him because he does little things right all the time. All the time. He don't need the ball to affect the game. Watch him block. Watch him block. It's not holding that on call it. Finish your block. He always finishes block. 2nd and 13 right here. I don't want to live right here. Take what the defense give it to the avatar and watch him work. 4-5 flat, 4-4-9. About right here. He shows why he's an avatar and everybody else are human beings. This is a 6'5", 250-pound man outrunning DBs. That guy right there, man, it may be the best thing that he didn't perform at the combine because he's going to go to his pro day and he probably run 4.49. You heard it here first, 4.5 flat. I think he beat Georgia's tight end record. And I think he'd be a better pro than he was at college. At Georgia, we don't really look for the tight ends. You get the ball when you get it, and you do your job. And if your job calls you to block, you block. And you get the ball when we give it to you. He gets to that NFL, he's a mismatch for linebackers. And then once his route running get crispy, a lot of people talk about his separation. That was one of his weaknesses coming into why they had him, which I can't believe because I'm drafting the guy the first 2 rounds just off his body. Just off his body. Number 7 or 4 is in my room. And I teach him everything else, but I want the body and the athleticism. I can't believe they said he's going to 3-4 because he fails to create separation. Well, we just had him run little simple routes at Georgia. When he gets to that NFL, his crisp route run and get going, man, this guy, man, we talk about George Kittle types. I think he's a freak athlete, and I'm excited to see when he runs to the 40, but it's not much to talk about him on there because he didn't perform it, honestly. In my opinion, you don't need to. What you saw was a guy who has top 10 ability, sacrifice his own talents for the greater good of the team. This guy should be getting targeted in college 8 to 10 times a game, but he has settled for 3, and it gets him happy to block. Also, who did not participate is Christian Miller. I don't think Christian Miller is one of those guys who's going to blow you out of the water for his test numbers. I'm not really tripping on him not wanting to do the combine for any reason. I think he's just a good football player. And Georgia's D-line play has just been superb in the NFL from this last. I mean, like we say again, Aziz, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith. Jermaine Johnson was a Georgia boy before he transferred to Florida. Devontae Wyatt. I think Christian Miller has earned the right, and Georgia, just off of we know how Trey Scott and Coach Smart and Coach Schooner are preparing these boys that you're getting a good product at D-line. So I still think he'll go in the first 4 rounds. Christian Miller will go in the first 4 rounds of the draft. Another guy who we didn't get into was Kobe Young, good ball player. I think he showed out well at the combine. I just kind of want to talk about the guys who I thought will be going in. I mean, he's everything you want to see out of a wide receiver, big and fast. He may have a better pro career than he did college career. I think he's an NFL receiver, got an NFL body, very mature body, a physical possession receiver. He ran 4.49 at 6'5", 218. That definitely opened some eyes. Strength. He has excellent size and speed. He's an 85th percentile speed score for his size. So you're looking at a guy comp. This is my comp for him, like a who's the guy for the Bills right now? Keon Coleman. I like that. The only thing is the weaknesses. 2024-25 season was plagued with fracture. He fractured his leg, which limited his production. Fractured his leg, so he probably could have ran faster than 4.49. Projection, generally projected as a day 3, 4 through 7. may go undrafted. I think his upside is too crazy to go undrafted. And then, like I say, Georgia players get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to I think Georgia players get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to, I think it's a 4th, 5th round guy. Yeah, I don't think he'll fall to the 4th, 5th round Georgia guy. But, all in all, I think this would be a good draft class for the Dogs, man. CJ Allen probably go 1st round. Monroe Freeling probably go 1st round. And we know Zachariah Branch will probably go in those first 3 rounds. So, once again, Coach Smart did a great job of, just pushing them out. But there is a video that I want to see, though, because even though we're reading off all these numbers, the numbers don't mean nothing. The combine is, like Charles Barkley say, if I wanted to draft a guy that can run fast and jump high, I'd draft a deer. So the combine has nothing to do with how they're going to perform in the, NFL. This is a very quote that I seen by Michael Irvin, and I just want you guys to chime in the comments of Michael Irvin talking to Brandon Thomas about who are the top, and how he doesn't like the 40. He was like, who are the top 10 guys that have the top 40 times that ended up not being good? So I actually wanted to look that up. Do 40s mean anything? Xavier Worthy, 421. Jury's still out on him. Good ball player. With John Ross is in the UFL. Birmingham Stallions. Kalen Barnes. Don't know who. Rondo. Chris Johnson, legendary. We know who that is.
Don't know like 80% of the list. So
yeah.
Either I don't know ball or yeah.
Nah, you don't supposed to know these people. I mean, we reading off all this stuff, but that doesn't matter at all. But so the 40 stuff don't really mean anything. But it's a good test. I do think when you got linemen running in the 4s, those usually pan out to be good ball players. But as you guys can see, scroll one more time. As you guys can see, man, like the 40th in this combine don't really mean nothing. But the best thing about Georgia players is they got tape to back it up. That's what you see. They got tape to back it up. For sure. Look, man, we're out of here, man. Appreciate you guys for locking in with us for another show of Off the Clock, and we'll be chiming in with you guys sometime next week. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, man, let's have some banter inside the comments. You guys leave comments on what you want to see as far as this off-season content before we kick it back up and get back into that team meeting. But when you look at this NFL draft, it's another year the Dogs been well represented in the NFL Combine. So proud of these guys and so proud of what this program has become and where it's going. Coach Smart and Glenn Schumann and those guys down there, man, they are turning out NFL pros, and you have to also give a round of applause to the players that are getting into the NFL. You get a few bad apples, but since this Kirby Smart regime, the players, like you hear about all these players in college driving fast, right? All Georgia players this, Georgia players that. You see all the memes and all the jokes. But when they get to that NFL, do you see them running across your ticker? Every NFL player got a fast car. So the speeding tickets that they're getting in college, majority of guys, they get them in the league. The only thing is they getting swept up under the table because it's a speeding ticket. I'm not validating for speeding. But what I'm saying is, though, the rhetoric that these guys have when they get the speeding tickets and people think they're classified as this. Have we had any problem on Jalen Carter off the field since the league? Besides spitting on the guy. But sometimes in war, you got to get down and nasty. So when these guys get to the NFL, they're performing on the field. It's helping win championships. And they're not getting in trouble. And they're changing the culture. So hats off to the guys that are in the NFL now that are making life easier and the process easier for the guys coming up under them. That's what you call a well-oiled machine. We just keep turning them out. But I appreciate you guys for joining us for another episode, man, and we'll see you guys next time.